Fashion Dolls. We're going to pick up where we left off in this interview with George because the chat just completely froze. IG has been on their BS lately, and I'm definitely going to switch over to my new phone so you guys will be able to have crystal clear, amazing interviews. So let me go ahead and send this back to George so that we can pick up where we left off. I wasn't the only person. A lot of people have been having technical difficulties. Oh, George is back, so let me. Okay, there we are.
Hello again.
We were talking before we froze up. We were talking about attending the acting conservatory. Pick up where we left off.
Yeah, basically, I think you asked me what were the benefits of an active conservatory, and at that
Yeah.
time, I was just basically using just going off of talent and interest and adrenaline. And studying with studio theater with Joy Zinnerman, Serge Seiden, Nancy Paris. Those were some of the teachers that I had. They taught me basic techniques that I still use today. They basically taught me the vernacular and the vocabulary of a theater professional so I could feel more confident when I went into the professional world. I was already in the professional world to a certain extent, but every time I've gone through a block of training, I've noticed that I've ascended, so to speak, in terms of the quality of work and the quality of people that pull me in.
And, and you've also attended Baron Brown Studios, Scott's Studios. I mean, the list goes on and on. But I'm going to go back for a minute to Luke Cage because I
Hmm.
asked a lot of my guests this question. And you are father, so we're going to talk about balance as well. But if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be?
Oh, that I could be in more places. I could be in more than one place at the same time. Like I didn't even have to think about that because, when you just mentioned the father, my daughter who's just turned 14 on the 17th. Happy birthday, Zaire. She lives in Toronto. My son lives in the Bronx. I have friends in Toronto that I have relationships with. I have friends here, and so a lot of times I want to be able to. I wish I had more like like that old Michael Keaton movie Multiplicity. I wish there was more than one of me, so I could be present for everyone that I need to be present for. So no one feels cheated, and I can continue to bond with those people.
How did you find the balance? Because I know with us being in this industry, in this business, it's a lot with balancing out family and then having to balance out your career as well. So how do you make it work?
A lot of communication, a lot of patience with myself. I think it starts with me taking care of myself first because I travel a lot. I'm flying up to Canada every month. Well, I try to fly up to Canada every month to see my daughter. It doesn't always work out that way when I'm working. I I'm committed to being in my family's life, so I text my daughter and mother. I'm sorry, my daughter and son every morning. Good morning. Have a great day. Even if they're not able to respond back. Hopefully, they can go back during the day or the next day and see Dad reached out to me. I do research online to see how I can be a better, not in the same location father. I don't like using that word absentee father. It just kind of has some, triggering elements for me. So I like to use terms like father who's in another city or that kind of thing. Um, I think, like I said, I think it starts with me taking care of myself, with exercise and eating right and getting enough sleep and having a strong spiritual foundation because when you have children and you're in this business, especially where we are right now, in the aftermath of the strikes, there's a lot of opportunity for anxiety. And it's really important for me to be spiritually grounded every day. So I have a ritual, I have a regimen that I do in the mornings where I do affirmations and meditation and prayer. Sometimes I listen to gospel music. Um, yeah, it's a daily practice, a moment by moment, day by day thing that I'm constantly stacking those sort of spiritual, energetic bricks every day to to achieve my overall goal, which is to have a cohesive family unit while I am successful in this business.
And that was going to be my next question for you. How often do you zone out? Because I know being on set, getting into character, it takes a lot out of you, having to go to a certain place where you've never been before, the extreme. So, how often do you zone out?
I mean, that's a really interesting question. That's a good question. I mean, I try to find like I just got off the train. When I'm on the train, I feel safe enough. I don't necessarily maybe not close my eyes, but I do some things that I call wide open meditation, eyes wide open meditation. I think I've been doing it long enough that I have a pretty comfortable command of it.
Yeah,
I definitely do my overnight work in terms of sometimes I'll play certain subliminal messages while I'm sleeping, positive affirmations, wealth abundance tapes, those kind of things. The exercises that I do to warm up are very meditative as well. My vocal warm ups, my speech warm up, my physical warm up. Working out is another quote unquote zone out time where I can just lock into the movements of the exercises. And then when I do those things, answers start to come to me like, oh, how am I going to navigate this schedule today? How am I going to embody this character today? How am I going to get this bill paid today? So it's something that I definitely attempt to do every day because I feel like the more you do it, the more you attract from the universe.
absolutely. What are some things that you are proud of in life?
I'm really proud that I'm going to be speaking at the Lincoln Center in about 4 hours.
Yeah.
um, that's something that I'm proud of. I'm definitely proud of being on The Wire. I'm definitely proud of working with Andre Brower back in 2018 at the Williamstown Theater Festival. Definitely proud of my son and my daughter. I probably should have said them first. Uh, um, I'm proud of being a North Carolinian. I'm proud of being a Southern man. I'm proud of being a black man. You know, I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what music inspires you? Because I know I've seen you play music and instruments here on the gram as well too. Like we follow each other. So, what gets you in your element? Like, do you just go to your keyboard and just start playing? What motivates you?
Well, I play bass. I'm teaching myself bass. And I sing, or as an old pastor used to say, I sing at singing. Um, that's a funny question, Stevie, because I listen to all sorts of stuff. I don't really listen to country music, but classical, heavy metal, 90s R&B, classic R&B, hard rock, post-punk, punk rock, alternative, drum and bass, reggae, dancehall. I think it really depends on the mood that I'm in. When it comes to the work that I'm doing, I just tend to read the text and see what images pop in my head or what sounds pop in my head. And then I'll either develop a playlist based off of that or I will listen to certain songs. You know, certain songs will pop in my head during the day because I think my mother told me when she carried me, she played a lot of music when she was carrying me. And there are a lot of musicians in my family as well. So right now, I was listening to Solange this morning, and I was also listening to U2 last night. Damon Albarn. I was listening to Damon Albarn from Blur and the Gorillaz today, running around doing my errands. So it really depends on the mood that I'm in. I think I'm well versed enough in my playlists and my library to know what to pull up to listen to as I'm on the move.
Very eclectic. You like different music, and I'm the same way as well too. Like I like jazz. I love R&B. I love pop. Like very eclectic. I like different types of music
Yeah,
as well too. What was
yeah.
if you could say anything, what was the last thing that made you smile?
Oh, that was today. I was hanging out with a friend of mine. Well, two things. My daughter, I was warming up some food for my daughter in the kitchen of the Airbnb that I had rented in Toronto, and the carousel was spinning, and she was like, "Dad, look!" and she started spinning like the carousel, and to me, that was just as an example. That was like a connection to the little girl that we used to run up. I can't, she doesn't run up. I can't pick her up like that anymore. but it to me it was an example of the bond she and I have. I think she and I get to have fun together when we get together. And then I was hanging out with a friend. We're watching Mad Max and the Tom Hardy Mad Max. And there was a scene where Mad Max was trying to get these shackles off of him, and he was shackled to this other character, and the character was knocked out, and he picked up the character's hand. He was about to bite it, and my friend and I were watching it, and she made this gnawing sound, this nibbling sound, and I don't know why, but it was the funniest thing. And I was thinking about that when I was on the train today. It just made me laugh out loud. So silly things make me smile. Silly things make me smile. Yeah.
What's next in the future for you for 24? Because this year we're like halfway at the end of February. So what is
Yeah.
next?
I'm waiting for these blessings to come in. I can't tell you what physical entity they're going to show up in, but I know some big things are happening. I can feel it. Specifically, I'm doing reading. I'm doing three readings coming up. One for I'm workshopping a play called Spare Parts. That'll be in my IG information when I'm closer to that. That's going to be later in March. I'm workshopping a new play at Yale. And I apologize, the name of that is slipping my mind, but the playwright is Ida Cutler. They are in the MFA program at Yale. And that information will be in my IG as well. And then I just heard back from a really beautiful playwright that I know, sister named Marissa Joyce Stamps, and she's got a play coming up. The sister, she gives her plays these really really long titles, so I'm not going to try to name it because I'm going to butcher it. But what I'll do is I'll have that information in my IG. That's going to be coming up. The venue is to be determined, but it's a new play that I workshopped with her at Brick in Bushwick last season, and then we're coming back around to. We're going to be working with the National Black Theater. With Belinda and Jonathan and those guys working with that. And I got auditions out there and waiting to hear back from those. I'm also working with a group of people. We are developing a facilitating program to talk to recent graduates and current students and to see how we can improve their educational career and their educational experience by, sort of telling us these are people that, quote unquote, falling through the cracks. And I'm going to serve as a facilitator to sort of like develop a program where we can implement new ideas gleaned from students themselves. I'm going to start doing some teaching artist work with Leap pretty soon. And I'm developing programs with a couple of actor friends of mine that are going to serve as support groups for actors. Coming out of the pandemic, coming out of the strikes, I myself have been struck with some pretty substantial emotional damage and trauma, especially when this is something that I've been doing for over 30 years of my life, and to see the ups and downs of the business, it's really important, I feel, to have a community, a structured community around you to make sure that you have someone to talk to and someone to bounce ideas off of. So I'm in the process. Also with Brie O'Connor, I'm developing some things with her as well. So a lot of irons in the fire. I'm also doing my coaching work. So anyone who needs an actor coach, affordable actor coaching, please hit me up. Hit me in the DMs. We can talk about rates and what your goals are as an actor, and I can definitely help you with that.
Before we get to our trivia, because we're going to shake it up before we close out this interview. It is Black History
Trivia.
Month,
Okay,
you
we
guys.
got trivia. All
So
right.
I am going to test George on his knowledge of Black history. All right.
Oh,
And you guys at home can join in as well, too. So
thanks.
we're going to do some quickies before we close out.
Going to
All right.
embarrass myself. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Here's the first one. Who was the first African, well, who was the first African American to win an Academy Award for Best Actor?
It was either Sidney Poitier or Butterfly McQueen.
Sidney Poitier. That
Okay,
is correct. Yeah.
okay.
All right. Here's the next one. Who was the first African American to be awarded the Pulitzer Prize?
Uh, James Baldwin? Man or woman?
It's a woman.
Alice Walker. Oh, Lorraine Hansberry. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. Alice
Should I
Childress.
give it to him, Fashion Dolls? It is Gwendolyn Brooks.
Oh, I
Now the next
apologize
one,
to the estate of Gwendolyn Brooks.
who was the
Now I
first
know.
African who was the first African American to be awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature? And it's a woman.
The Nobel, the Nobel Peace Prize in Literature. Oh, was
The
that
Nobel Prize in Literature.
Maya Angelou, Zora Neale Hurston? Oh my God, Stevie, you making me look so bad.
And I don't know if you caught last week's episode, I was announcing one of her books as one of my reads that I'm reading along for Black History Month. It's Toni Morrison.
And I love Toni Morrison too. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm so, I'm
Yes,
so
I'm reading Love by Toni Morrison, and I think it was published in what,
yeah,
2003.
yeah.
Okay,
Blue Star is one of my favorites. Yeah.
here's another one. Who was the youngest African American to win a Nobel Prize? And I give you a hint. His daughter she called out Donald Trump. She is the daughter of a civil rights icon.
Michael,
And
Martin Luther King.
that's it.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I got that one. Boy, that'd have been terrible if I didn't get that one.
Okay, here's the last one.
Okay.
What year did Nelson Mandela win the Nobel Peace Prize?
Oh man, I got to brush up on my Black history. Obviously, I'm just going to say I'm not going to sit here and guess. I know he won it, but I don't remember what year.
It was in the 90s.
I want to think. My son was born in '96. I'm trying to think. Was it before or after that? Was it before or after '96?
It was way before 96.
'92,
Close.
'93.
Yes,
Okay.
1993.
I'm so,
Yep,
got
there we
turn
go.
in my black card, y'all. Got turned in my black card.
Hey, but there's always another try. We got to bring you back on
Bring me
next year,
back on.
Black
I'm
History
gonna get them
Month.
all right next time.
Yes. All right, Fashion Dolls. Before we close out this interview, George, what advice, because you've been doing this since 1989, you've been doing this for a very long time.
Hmm.
What advice would you give to up and coming actors?
Oh, it's what a good brother told me when I first landed in LA. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I would elaborate that by saying that definitely believe in yourself. Know that know why you're doing this. I mean, that's respected for every person. That's an individual want and intention. But know why you're doing this, and I feel like that pretty much can keep you on course. I mean, I have a mission statement that I wrote when I first started in the late '80s, and I still fall back on that. It's a solid clad one for me. It makes sense. It's been able to sustain me when the business has been flush and when it's been thin. But definitely, there's no comparison with other entities and actors. You are your own competition.
Yeah,
And trust that your voice is valid, that you're enough. That's something that I'm still solidifying every day, that I'm enough, and that God is bigger than this business.
absolutely. And my mom,
Yeah.
she told me getting into this hosting this platform, she said, never forget to put God first in everything that
Put
you
him in
do. And every
everything.
morning, that's why when you
Put
said
God
you do
before everything.
affirmations, I pray and I do my affirmations. I am invincible. One of my affirmations is I surround myself with people who uplift me. So it's all about keeping motivated in this business, the drive, the passion. And to add on to what George just said, today's final thought comes from my girl Laverne Cox, and she says, I've never been interested in being erased and invisible. And for us as Black people, this is now the time. We have made so much contributions to this world itself. And now it's the time for us to stand up and not let our legacy be erased. Because as I've mentioned on yesterday's show when I did my interview with Fernando, they're banning books in the school, teaching children about racism and embracing your natural, all of these books that are out here to help encourage our Black babies. They are trying to erase it out of the school system.
Hmm.
So I refuse to be erased and invisible. I am here. And that's why I chose, you guys are like, why does everything have to be purple? Why do you send purple hearts, purple and blue? Because for this season, purple and blue for me represent shine. And each and every one of you have to shine. You're going to stand out. You're going to be bold. You're going to be out there. And that's what the season is all about, because you see everything that is coming out now, coming full circle for everyone. What you put out there
Hmm.
in the universe is going to come to you full circle.
Yes.
So remember that. Shine, passion.
Shine, everybody. Ascendancy season.
Yes, yes. And where can everyone follow you? You are speaking at the Lincoln Center tonight. So where
I
can everyone check this out? I'm so
I mean,
proud of you.
it's. Thank you. I'm so proud of me too. It's a one night thing. The tickets are free. It starts at 7:30 in the atrium at the David Rubenstein Atrium at the Lincoln Center. I'm actually in the green room right now, and I'm speaking with the Voices of a People's History group. And basically the platform we build off of the writings of Howard Zinn. He wrote The People's History of the United States years ago, which is a seminal work in the history of this country. And tonight I'm going to be reading selections from Paul Robeson and Frederick Douglass,
Oh,
along with Ryan Jamal Swain, Morley, Queen Esther. These are all luminaries and activists and smart people of color, and who are going to be here tonight. And I want to thank Issa Davis for getting me into this, by the way, getting me into this group. I'm going to shout out her. But yeah, that's what I'm doing tonight, and you'll see. And if you can't make it out, you'll see footage of it. I'll take footage and put it on my IG and my different platforms, either tonight or tomorrow.
and where can everyone follow you?
You can follow me at the George Bennett Watson. That's George with a J. JeorgeBennetTWATSON on Instagram. I'm George Watson on Facebook. I'm George Watson on Twitter or X, and those are the only platforms that I'm on.
And congratulations to you. This is a huge achievement. I know when we spoke back last, 2023, when we were setting
Mhm.
this up in the process,
Mhm.
you were letting me know. And now to see it come to fruition full circle, I'm so proud of you. And this is a
Thank you.
huge accomplishment.
Thank
And we know
you very
Ryan
much.
Jamal Swain from Pose. If you guys have
Yes, that's
watched
my
Pose,
boy.
yes.
He and I did a play together last summer, actually, and he and I came out of DC at around the same time. He went to Howard. I didn't go to Howard, but we all knew the same people. Yeah.
Yep. See how God works, fashion
Hmm.
dolls? And living testament. It was such a pleasure having you here, and I
It
got
was
to
a
have you
pleasure
back
being
on
here.
again in the
Please
spring.
do. Please
Definitely.
do.
All right, fashion dolls. So without further ado, make sure you guys head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube if you have not. Subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified, because this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime and saved here right on IGTV. And again, thank you all for tuning in with the one and only George Bennett Watson. Thank you so much, George. I had such a great time.
Thank you. I look forward to talking to you again.
Definitely. And we'll set something up and I'll send you the clips and everything so you guys can catch that replay. All right?
Absolutely.
Take care, everyone.
Everyone have a good night. Peace.